supported Bremer. Garner didn't have much time for the young Foreign Office high flyer, nor Sawyers for him. This is a memo that's been leaked, written by John Sawyers, 11th of May, and I'll read you what it says. Subject, Iraq, what's going wrong? Garner's outfit, Aura, is an unbelievable mess. No leadership, no strategy, no coordination, no structure, and inaccessible to ordinary Iraqis. Bremer's arrival is not a day too soon. Garner and his top team of 60-year-old retired generals are well-meaning, but out of their depth. What's your response to that?
Well, he certainly never told me that. But I don't agree with that. But let me talk about John Sowers. And he fired that shot, let me fire my shot. He supported de-Baathification, big supporter of de-Baathification, big supporter of getting rid of the Army, big supporter of getting rid of the leadership group. Didn't leave the Green Zone very much, didn't stay there very long, came over there, punched his ticket, supported all the wrong policies, and got the hell out. So I don't put much stock in the John Sawyers of the world. You keep them in your country. I don't want them over here in mine.
In the blistering heat of Baghdad in summer, Iraqi disillusionment with the occupying forces was growing, even amongst some who'd had no time for Saddam.
Now the Iraqi people, they are counting days. They have been here for 2 months, okay. They have been here for 3 months, okay. They have been here 4 months, that's okay too. But when they have been here for 5 or 6 months, you can expect explosion here. That's all that you can see now.
Gunfire.
You can see, yes, gunfights.
For the insurgents, there was no shortage of recruits. And no shortage of munitions either, though stealing them could be risky. 6 Iraqis died in this explosion. Iraq was, and remains, awash with weapons thanks to hundreds of Saddam's arms dumps across the country. That 500,000 tons of weaponry, you're suggesting, ended up in the hands of insurgents?
Yes, yes. There's no doubt about it. Well, not just insurgents, tribes, people took them home, people stole them for their neighborhood, criminal gangs, but a significant proportion of it, probably more than half, ended up with the insurgents. And the insurgents are probably the people best aware of these equipment, because most of the original insurgency, even now, is mainly led by former army officers and security types, and they would know where the weapons were.
The need to guard all the arms dumps was missed in the planning. The Pentagon wanted an 80% reduction of troops within 6 months.
Certainly when I got on the ground and saw the lack of security just in Baghdad, it was clear to me that we did not have enough troops.
The military in Iraq were also short of instructions about the country they'd occupied, as Andy Bearpark, a British post-conflict specialist flown out to work with Bremer, discovered on his arrival.
I did manage to see the draft instruction to the occupying general. I'm supposed to do economies, so I looked for the paragraph on the economy, and it was absolutely wonderful. When I found the sentence, it just leapt off the page at me and said the only currencies that will be permitted after the occupation are the US dollar, struck me as pretty reasonable, and I'm waiting to see dinar, and it said the Reichsmark. And I'm thinking, Andy, there's something a bit funny going on here. I'm a little bit worried about this document. And sure enough, I can only surmise that somebody had done a cut and paste job from whatever documents had issued at the end of the Second World War.
Iraqi attack, 2 American soldiers killed as their patrol unit is fired on.
Coalition troops here have no idea where the enemy is when he'll strike. They're fighting ghosts.
It's the 3rd fatal attack on American troops in Iraq in the past 24 hours.
There was no plan to deal with the insurgency because the Americans had assumed there wouldn't be one, and no modern US military manual to show them how. So now they were making it up as they went along.
You have a very important job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay? All right. I'm going to go check out your patient, okay? Okay, we're going to ask him some questions. Tell him that if he cooperates with us, we might be able to save his life. Tell him I need to know who else was with him the day he shot an RPG at U.S. forces on Haifa Street. Look at me, I'm not stupid, okay? I'm not stupid, all right? And we're gonna help you if you help us. If you don't help us, you can forget it, okay? We came here to help you.
But how were the Americans going to help Iraqis rebuild their country if the army couldn't secure it? No sooner were installations repaired than often they were sabotaged again. The Iraqi infrastructure was also much more fragile than the Americans had assumed, and what preparations they'd made to restore it didn't amount to a plan.
I was finally given that plan for the restoration of the electricity supplies, except it was half of one side of a piece of paper. It was a list of power stations with figures next to them. And I said, I assume somebody's joking. I assume I'm British and somebody's having a good joke. And they said, no, that's the plan. Well, I said, that's not a plan, that's a statement of optimism. How do you propose to get from where you are to that position? Oh, we don't know.
In Baghdad, the supply of electricity rarely exceeded half pre-invasion levels. Iraqis couldn't understand how a superpower like America, which had sent men to the moon, couldn't get the lights on.
Jerry Bremer was approving money for spare parts for these power stations. Absolutely wonderful, absolutely the correct thing to do. What, however, nobody had realised was that once that expenditure had been approved, there was no mechanism to translate that approval into the procurement of the parts.
For the British running southern Iraq, life at first had been more upbeat. The majority in the south are Shia. Because they'd been so brutally oppressed by Saddam, the British had assumed the honeymoon would last. But by the summer, it was over. There were riots.